Oh, that's a good question.
Manifesting.
That's a very good question. I remember one time I came to a practice and they were like, "Oh man, your shoes is clean, man. You whack because your shoes is clean." I'm like, "What?"
He shows up to the kids' games looking like it's like Game 7.
Game 7, yeah.
And he's on the floor.
We lose, at least I look good.
Yeah.
And you're chasing her, she never comes back. But as soon as you like fall back,
there she is. There she is. Welcome to Inside Out. We are here today. We have a very, very special episode. My guest today is Jack McClinton. And I'm joined for the first time ever by a co-host, which is Lucas Cubas, my 10-year-old son. So I invited Jack here today because I am really excited to talk about, he is my son's coach, and he has had a huge basketball career. He is in the UM Hall of Fame, and he has a very interesting story to share with us. I met Jack years ago, I think like maybe 7 years ago. It was at an Art Basel party. I don't know if you remember. So it was at Swan, and it was a Soulfly party. Okay. And Kirk introduced me to you, and then I like, you were super cool and whatever. And he's like, this guy, he taught me my step back, and he was giving you all this credit, and like that is not something Kirk usually does, especially when it comes to basketball, because he's like, he's the best. Right? He's the best. Right. So he was giving you your flowers, and I vividly remember you. And then a couple years later, it was like, Jack's gonna be the coach at Lucas's school, and that's what Lucas plays, is basketball. So it was just like, it was awesome. One thing that I want to say about you as a coach that I think is so unique and special is that you are like cool and funny and fun, but the kids really respect you. You also yell at them when they need it. Is that right, Lou?
Yeah.
So you're able to do like the two, get the respect, but still they really enjoy having you as their coach. So I love that. We are going to start with the inside scoop, and it's a few rapid fire questions to get to know you a little bit better.
Okay.
All right. So what are you obsessed with right now?
My daughter.
She just turned 1.
Just turned 1, yeah.
What are you listening to?
Bodie James.
What kind of music is that?
Hip hop.
Okay.
It's not a Bodie James. I listen to a lot of like old school stuff too. I'm really loving like Temptations right now, Earth, Wind and Fire, Heat Wave. Like I'm a lot of oldies too,
yeah.
but like
I
literally came with Bodie James.
That's also how you dress, like
kind of
vintage.
I get it from my
retro.
dad. Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Who is your favorite basketball player of all time?
Michael Jordan.
Good answer. How often do you work out and play basketball?
Work out like in the gym?
Yeah. Do you train?
Or like basketball training?
No. Work out in the gym, and then how? And
I don't.
No?
I don't work out in the gym.
Really?
I need to. Yeah, I don't.
And then do you play basketball?
I mean, because I train the kids and I do stuff. So I'm always in the gym like every day. But as far as like getting in the gym, working out.
It's something you want to do more though.
I need to do more.
Okay.
I'm getting a dad bod. I do not want to have that.
All right, Lou, you got some questions. 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, okay. Would you rather dunk or 3?
Dunk, because I never could dunk. I mean, I could dunk, but I didn't get a lot of them. I made plenty of threes, so I'd rather get a dunk.
What's your favorite basketball movie?
My favorite basketball movie is White Man Can't Jump.
If you could train one NBA player, who would it be?
Kevin Durant.
I have some questions for you because I am a parent and you are the coach. So I feel like you're kind of like in between, the liaison between the parents and the kids. I watched a lot of your podcasts and you spoke about pressure, and you spoke about how you did your best, you played your best, and you were able to like excel the most when you didn't have pressure. I feel like it's a fine line between like as parents knowing how like it's a big effort and sacrifice to take the kids to the games and to like do all this stuff, and then sometimes you see them not putting effort or not trying hard, and it's like, then if you put pressure on them, is that making it worse? Is that making it better? So like, what would your advice be on putting pressure on kids versus like not then making them so stressed out and to not enjoy basketball?
Yeah, I think like as a kid, I can only speak for, like from when I came up, we didn't have social media, we didn't have video games you could download on your Xbox or PS5. Like kids have a lot more distraction nowadays. Yeah. So, they don't, while they were playing video games or on their phone, like I was in the gym working on my game.
Like that outside. Was your distraction. That was your fun.
Was basketball.
Yeah.
So I could lean on, if I'm not making a shot or my game feels off, I can lean on, well, I did put the work in yesterday. So it kind of alleviates that belief or that thought where it's like, I'm not ready to play. I think a lot of these kids, they do sports and they practice with the team, but then like when they go home, you get better when you practice on your own. And I don't know how many kids, go home and practice on their own, a couple hours a day or an hour a day. I think that helps alleviate pressure because, if you trust your game, you're not going to put pressure on yourself because you know what you can do. So I think the biggest thing is, I think you have to push kids because I think sports is a tool to help you in life. Like the same adversity you would hit in a game where a coach is telling you got to get back on defense or box out. It's the same thing where, if you work on a job and like you're distributing dividends to some of your owners and you do the wrong number, you give one guy, the guy owns 15%, he should get $1 million dividend and you give him $2 million. Like you messed up. So I believe like these things that you're learning in sports, they translate to real life. And that's what I like to, I'm not gonna say I like to preach it, but I push the kids in a way where it's like, what I'm doing right now, as you get older, you're going to see the same thing and more. So if I can get you might be mad at me now. You may be like, oh man, coach is hard on me. But I know as when you get older and you become an adult, you go to college, you know what I mean? You're going to deal with some adversity. And hopefully you can be like, you know what? Like if I could get past what Coach Jack was saying, like this is nothing.
You're learning it now in a fun way, in a fun environment, something you're enjoying, and then later it's going to translate to real life and you're like, oh, I know how to apply this or how to overcome this because I already did it before.
Correct.
What advice would you give kids my age who want to be good at basketball?
I would say first, work on your belief system. I believe a belief is nothing but a thought you've been thinking for a long period of time. So if you believe that you're good at it, like that changes the vibrational frequency from when you play the sport. So the first step, I think, is belief in like believing that you're a good basketball player, believing that you belong on the court, believing that your coach should believe in you. And then I think second is you have to put the work in. You can't just, go to practice for 1 or 2 hours twice a week and expect just to be a good basketball player. You got to go home and, maybe dribble the ball for 500 times, make 500 shots or 50 shots, start small. I believe you get better because if you think about the odds, every kid on the team is going to practice twice a week. So how do you separate yourself from every kid on the team? By doing things on your own. So I think, first is belief system and second is, putting in extra practice on your own.
I saw you were in one of your other interviews, you said that you were making 1,000 baskets a day when you were playing at UM.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I wanted to be great. I believed I was great. And I knew that if I put the work in and that connected with my work ethic and my belief system, I could be special. I was telling this the other day, when I was in the gym training, when I was in college, I never really missed 2 shots in a row. Like very random did I miss 2 in a row. So when I get in the game, my belief system is I don't miss 2 shots in a row. So if I miss 1 shot, I'm like, oh, the next one's going in.
You're good, yeah.
So
take it.
My belief system was I'm not going to miss 2 in a row, so I'm definitely not going to be scared to shoot the second one, and I'm for sure not going to be scared to shoot the third one because I know the odds of me missing are very low. So I created a strong belief system, and it allowed me to be successful very early.
When things weren't going your way, what helped you mentally stay strong?
Say one more time. When things were going or weren't going my way. When things weren't, I trusted my work. Like I said, I was always working on my craft. Just like if you have a test on Monday and it's the Monday before, if you know you have the test Monday, the next Monday, you can't wait till Sunday to study. I was in the gym the following Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, if things weren't going well, I could still trust that I put the effort in the work that, my time would come.
What do you do when you miss a lot of shots in a game and start feeling frustrated?
It goes back to the work. When you put the work in and you miss a couple shots, sometimes it's better. A lot of times I think guys miss shots because they're overcompensating. They want to score too much. A lot of times when my shot wasn't falling, I would, try to get an assist. I would try to get fouled. I would try to play harder defense, try to get a steal, try to pick my teammate up, be more vocal. Basketball has so many elements of different things you could do. It's not about scoring. There's 50 other things you could be doing. So I believe, the less you focus on what you want, the more what you want happens. It's almost like if you have like an ex-girlfriend and you're trying to get your ex-girlfriend back and you're chasing her, she never comes back. But as soon as you fall back,
there she is. There she is.
I always use that analogy of like the beach ball in a pool. Like if we're in a pool right now and the beach ball is there, if you jump and try to splash and get the beach ball just goes further. So if you kind of relax and allow, usually the beach ball starts to fall.
And that's what they say with money, with love,
it's the same thing.
With everything.
Yeah, it's a frequency.
And I love also in your interview you spoke about the plus minus that like the European League or uses instead of like tracking your points. It's like what the team score was while you were on the court because of everything else that goes in besides just the shot. It's not just about the shot.
You know, plus minus, they have plus minus in the NBA, but they focus on plus minus a lot more than like overall stats. It's points, assists. Plus minus is basically how many points your team was up or down when you're on the court.
Yeah, that is.
So if you're on the court for 20 minutes and your plus minus is -8,
didn't do a great job. Yeah.
But if you're on the court for 15 minutes, your plus minus is 25. It's like you made an impact for your team. And you know, basketball's a team sport, so you know you want to be effective in as many ways as you can. I like to tell Lucas a lot of times, like if your shot's not falling, get a rebound, get a block shot, sprint back on defense, pick your teammate up. You know, there's so many ways that you could become successful on the court, and then in return, you'll become successful in life because you're a Swiss Army knife. Yep. You can do it all.
Wow, I love this. How important is discipline compared to talent?
How important is discipline compared to talent? I mean, you can be talented and not be extremely disciplined and still get away with it. But you can't not be talented and just be disciplined. I feel like you have to have a little bit of both. Like
the most successful people have both.
Yeah, you can be disciplined all day, but like if you're not good, like you're just not going to be good. But I believe that if you're starting from, you know, discipline here, talent here, if you start in the middle and you're 50% discipline and 50% talent and you bridge the gap, I believe it's important. So to answer your question, I believe that if you're talented and you have discipline, you'll be successful. But if you're not disciplined and you're talented, I think the odds are a little bit less.
Yeah. So another thing you've spoken about a lot is timing. You believe in timing over like a standard timeline or when things are supposed to happen. It's like when things align and everything is just like exactly when it's supposed to happen, and then it kind of blows up. And also something else I love is how you say like it just takes one game or one anything where you could just be like kind of average, and then all of a sudden you're like on top and like you're recognized and you're successful for all these things just from one day to the next because of all of the work and preparation and everything that you did. But it's all about timing.
I believe, like, you know, people would think like if you work hard, like you're supposed to get something right away because you worked hard. You know, as I got older and started understanding like life, and like I said, how I think basketball prepares you for life. You know, I worked super, super hard in the gym in when I was in college and high school, and I didn't make the NBA, right? But at the same time, like those hours that I put in the gym, it allowed me to understand in business. I'm using the same type of mindset and effort, and it allowed me to be super successful. And then, you know, like you said about the timing situation. You know, if you think about time was man-made. Someone created a clock, or someone did this and said at 12 o'clock it's this. When the sun goes down, it's 3 o'clock. But like timing is perfect. There's no imperfection in timing. So I believe, you know, I always give the example, if I have an interview for a job at 4 o'clock and I leave my house at 3 o'clock and I get a flat tire and I'm late for the interview, but then next thing you know, the guy that's about to interview me sees me on the side and stops because he wants to help me. And then he's like, "Oh, you're the guy I'm supposed to meet, man. I'm sorry that happened." And we had a conversation. He's like, "Man, I like you as a person. I'm hiring you right there." And I didn't have to go through the process of like, you know, a job interview. So I believe like timing is infinite. Timing is perfection. I believe the terminology of time, I believe it discombobulates us where we think we're not worthy because something that we thought was going to happen didn't happen at a certain period of time.
It's just like causes stress versus just kind of like flowing and waiting for when everything 100%. Works out when it's supposed to.
I always believe in relaxing and allowing and understanding or knowing that I know that I don't know, and I don't try to understand anything. Because as soon as you stand under a table and you stand up, you're going to hit your head. So I don't want to understand anything. I just like to think I know that I don't know anything.
I mean, you seem very like philosophical and like you have a very strong belief system since you were young. And I think that you always, like you say, like the odds weren't really in your favor to go as far as you did and to reach the level that you reached, and you attribute it to your belief system.
Yeah.
Did that come from like your family growing up, or were you just born that way, like with a really strong, how did you work that?
I think that I always wanted to fit in. That was my thing. So, you know, as an African-American male, I grew up in the suburbs. Like I grew up, like I had mom, dad, we had a house. Like most of the people that look like me sometimes in the sport, they live in the inner city. Mm-hmm. and don't have the same type of access that I have. So I lived in the suburbs, and then I played basketball in the inner city. So I never wanted people to be like, oh, this the black kid from the county coming to the city thinking he's better than everybody. So I want to make people feel comfortable, and I just wanted to blend in. So like when you go some places, I remember one time I came to a practice, and they were like, oh, man, your shoes is clean, man. You whack because your shoes is clean. I'm like, what? Like, that's a bad thing. But people only are how they've been brought up, what they've been exposed to. So I've always wanted to blend in with everything. So like trying to blend in and being able to have access and being able to like
be kind of like a chameleon,
adapt to everything, has allowed me to kind of like not take things personal. If that makes sense. I feel like a lot of times we take things personal, and it shuts us down mentally and shuts us down physically, and to be able to adapt to our circumstances. So I've always wanted to just blend in and make everyone feel good. Sometimes that's like could be a default because you start worrying about people so much that they don't care about you.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you're a good person, great things happen. I don't know if I went sidetrack on your question, but
it's okay. I mean, I like the answer.
What was the question again? I'm like,
where your strong belief system came from.
I would just say life. You learn so many things from adversity, and you either can have a declining mindset or a growth mindset where it's like, I could be mad at this and say this person did this to me and I deserve this and then I deserve that, but you're just like declining. I always try to look at the positives, like what joyous experience can I get out of this happening to me?
Yeah. I
always try to look at that. If something bad happens, I say, you know what joyous experience do I get from this happening? And that switches my mindset, and then I'm able to overcome.
I'm the same, but I don't think I always was that way. I think I used to have way more of a lack mindset, and now I have like an abundance mindset, and it's really come from like reading and just opening myself up and trying to like educate myself, and then you see when you do those things and you think that way, like how it works.
Because you think
so then it reinforces.
Most people don't think positive. Everybody's like on the news is showing like all the bad stuff happening, but like most people are that way.
Yeah.
But that shows you that the frequency of that is super heavy. So if you're negative, you flow into that. But if you change your mindset, there's a select few that are thinking this way, and then you can kind of go from here to here super fast, because there's like no middle area. It's either here or you're here.
Yeah.
And the majority of people are vibrating at a low frequency.
Yeah.
So I try to stay positive and just be thankful for every situation that I'm in.
Yeah. So every athlete faces setbacks. What were some of the hardest moments in your journey?
I would say injuries. My draft story was, I got 2009. I got a call that I was supposed to get drafted in the first round in the NBA draft. And if you know, like the first round, you're guaranteed a contract. Like you're guaranteed money. If you drafted it second round, you're not guaranteed anything. So I got a call the day of the draft saying, hey, the Knicks are going to draft you at 29. Congratulations, you're going to be the first round pick. So I'm like ecstatic. I'm calling my boys like, yo, we going to New York, Fashion Central, like we going to be fresh. But I'm calling everybody. So then, the 15th, 16th.
He was ready.
I was ready. The 15th, 16th pick comes, I get a call, and the scout's like, oh, we noticed in college you had a wrist injury that you didn't get surgery on. The year before we drafted a guy, he had back spasms. We don't want to take a chance on another guy that had a previous injury. So like that injury that I didn't get surgery on kind of like hurt my guaranteed money process. And, I go back to, at the moment, I'm like, wow, this is the worst thing ever. But then you fast forward, I have tons of NBA athletes now that are asking me to help them with their businesses because I got out of basketball early and I have so much knowledge that I can share to these guys. And, that's just how it is. I would say injuries for sure was tough for me. The biggest one was I had the microfracture. My career-ending injury was I had a microfracture and I couldn't play anymore. And that was it. Like my career was done. That was 3 years after I played pro. I was coming off my best year of playing in Europe, and then I had a knee injury that put me out for 10 months.
And it's such a common story for athletes, any sport, that like you work so hard to get to this level, you got to the level, and then an injury.
It's tough. I mean, it happens.
Heartbreaking.
It's definitely heartbreaking. But I think I had, have good parents, I had good friends that, that allowed me to, to dream bigger, to think bigger than basketball, think about owning the team, being the GM of a team, not being just a player. So that's kind of how I've been thinking.
One of the places we shop at every single week is Josh's Premium Meats. This is where my family and I buy all of the meat for our home. We try to keep our diet high protein, and this makes it so easy. This is where we get the ground beef I use for our lasagna or taco nights or the churrasco that we grill at home. And when we want to feel a little extra fancy, we grab a tomahawk or A5 Wagyu. Once we started cooking with their meat, it felt like there was no way to mess it up. It came out good every single time. And it's not just Kirk and I that love it, it's the kids' favorite too.
I already know.
You know?
Yeah.
I was telling him to ask you who your roommate was.
I already know.
Who was it?
Steph.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was dope. You know, we signed to the same agency. So for the whole summer, Steph Curry was my roommate.
Sick.
Yeah. It was cool. He's a cool dude. Shout out Steph Curry.
Shout out Steph. You have turned into like an entrepreneur, still kind of in the basketball world, which is something you're very familiar with. What have you learned that you could you apply from like your basketball career and you see like similarities in now business?
I think persistence and like being present. You know, I think being an entrepreneur, it doesn't happen like overnight where it's like you do one thing and then like you get the reward for it. Like in basketball, you can work out in the gym and next day you have a game and then you play well. In business, like, you know, 1 month you could do very well and 1 month you could be terrible. So I think like the similarity is like, once again, if you put the work in and you go back to your belief system, you believe like it's at some point timing is going to happen and you'll get your break.
Pay off.
You know, you get small breaks, but I also think you gotta be thankful for the small wins. Like every win doesn't have to be like the monumental win. Like celebrate the small wins. I think that helps you as well in business.
What does personal development mean to you?
I think personal development just starts with like, I mean, I sound like a broken record, but it's your belief system.
Okay.
Like I believe that, you know, once you develop your belief system, and that's your belief system, and that's kind of like the ideology that you take to take you through life. You got to know yourself. You got to understand that none of us are perfect. We have flaws. And you got to be able to take constructive criticism. You have to be able to not be emotional when someone says, hey, you're like this. If you don't believe it, you can't just be like, nah, I am like, let's absorb it, listen, because, you know, you might take a couple of days and be like, you know what? Maybe I am like that, because we don't see what we put out. We just know what we put out. We don't know how, like, I may be saying something, he could be like, this guy's a lunatic. He might be thinking that, or you could be like, oh, Jack's great. Everybody looks at things different, so we can't... Based
on their experience and who they are.
Yeah, we can't look at everything from our POV. There's always duality in everything. There's always two sides. So I believe that you can always be open to hearing, you know, other people's thoughts, other people's beliefs, and figuring out how to navigate that and put that into your own belief system. And what works for you will work for you. But, you know, I think you just have to continue to develop yourself every single day. And I think the biggest thing is to try to figure out a fine balance to be like non-emotional. When I say emotional, I'm not saying like love and stuff like that, but it's like
not getting upset.
Yeah, not getting upset over like spoiled milk.
Yeah.
Like, bro, just go get another carton of milk.
Yeah. I mean, I think when you're able to do that, like you're more evolved for sure. That's the goal.
That's the goal.
And then you won't be affected by other people and when things happen that are out of your control, which are going to happen all day, every day. So like I'm huge on personal development. That's like why I'm doing this. That's why I do a lot of things. That's like my priority in life is to just improve myself every day, get more, you know, knowledge, more emotionally like intelligent and mindset and everything. I like to read a lot of books. I like to put myself in new experiences. Like, how do you try to grow and learn and become a better version of yourself every day?
I try to stay in the attitude of gratitude. I think that's my biggest thing to personally develop, is that like, instead of me thinking so much about everything, which is THINK, I like to be thankful, THANK. So like anytime you think about something, you have to overcome the thought. But when you're thankful for something, it's like, there's nothing to overcome. Just thankful for this. Like, I'm thankful that we were able to do this podcast. I could easily be like, oh man, I don't know if I can do it. I think I might be late for something. I'm thankful that we're doing it. And now, you know, who knows what's going to happen from that. So I think just being in gratitude and being thankful for every situation that you're in allows you to not kind of put yourself in a box where you're overthinking things and you're just trying to overcome thoughts your whole life. Like, just be thankful for every situation, good or bad.
Do you have a lot of thoughts in your mind? Are you able to quiet them? Like,
I have so many thoughts. Like,
we
I'm
all
thinking
do. Yeah.
things all the time, but when I'm thankful, it switches my vibrational frequency. I can feel when I'm thankful for things, other things start coming to me that's like positive. Mm-hmm. But when I'm thinking about so much stuff, like I'm
it's
just
all
like
problems.
It's all problems.
Yeah.
That probably aren't even problems.
Yeah.
That I'm creating in my mind.
Yeah.
So I like to really like talk about that. You think about the word. It sounds the same. Think and think sound the same, but they're totally different if you apply them.
Yeah.
What's your dream car?
Dream car. That's a good one.
Hey, I have that. Hey.
Good one. Dream car is a Maybach truck, 2-tone, forest green with the silver grill. That's what I want with the hydraulics. I want that. Dream car. It's gonna be my family car. That's what I want.
Family car.
That's my dream. What's your dream car?
Full of car seats.
Yeah. What's your dream car? Yours, Lamborghini. What's yours?
Right. I'm not huge into cars, but like right now, what I would want is like a Bentley truck.
Bentley truck.
Yeah.
Got it.
I'm good with that.
Good with that. Nice. That's a good question, by the way. Good job, Lucas.
It is.
Why is your Instagram handle Manifest McClinton?
I believe that I can manifest anything. I believe if I say I want something, I can make it happen. And when at first it was like Jack McClinton. I was like, you know what? I'm manifesting McClinton.
I always wondered that, and I never thought to ask you.
Right.
And I love manifesting.
Right.
Like I'm a huge manifester, but I'm
Right.
like, obviously he believes in manifesting.
Right, for sure.
That's
I was doing it a long
Instagram.
time ago before it was popular. I had like 8 years ago as manifest. Like now it's becoming a thing, but I have it tatted right here on my hand. It says manifest.
That's what I saw.
Oh.
I just believe that
you're observant. Then.
Why not? Why can't we say we want something and it happen? But most people will teach you like, there's no way that could happen if you want to do this. I'm just like, I got drafted to the NBA. You know what the odds, the percentage of like getting drafted is probably like 0.001%. From my circumstances, not having a Division I scholarship,
not being 7 foot,
not being
tall.
7 foot, and I got drafted to the NBA. So I'm like, if I'm able to do that, I can for sure manifest a sandwich.
Yeah, I mean,
I start small, start saying stuff, and it happens. Like, oh damn, I got something.
I believe anything is possible.
Right, 100%.
Anything is possible. So putting it out there, it changes. It creates energy, and
100%.
then it if that's what you want, it can happen. There's
100%.
There's no way that there's anything that can't happen.
Oh, there is a way that could happen when you start overthinking why
exactly,
it didn't happen.
Exactly. Not everything is going to happen, but anything can happen.
Right.
So go for it.
Yeah.
Dream
why
big.
not?
Did you manifest when you were my age?
It's funny you asked it. I didn't know I was manifesting when I was your age, but I actually was, because when I was a kid, I used to put basketball sneakers under my pillow to have a dream of playing on an NBA floor. So that I put my shoes there. So in my dream, I got my shoes to put on. Fast forward in 2016, I had an NBA license with the NBA where I had NBA players on blankets. So that was the weird thing. And then I made it to the NBA. I was 13 years old, putting shoes under my pillow, dreaming about being in the NBA. And then 20 years later, I'm in the NBA. But if you attach to time, you're like, oh, it's 20 years. But what's 20 years?
It happened.
When it happened.
Yeah.
You don't think about the time it took to get there, because I didn't even know what I was doing back then. So everybody thinks time is being super linear, but time is just 1 day could seem like 1 minute sometimes, or 1 year could happen in 1 minute. Yeah. So what really is time? It's your mind saying, oh, it's been 360 days.
This much time has happened, but it's
exactly.
If you wanted to travel anywhere, where would you travel?
If I could travel anywhere, right now,
Yeah.
Costa Rica.
That's a really good one. Have you been?
Yeah, I've been. My fiance is Costa Rican.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, she's Costa Rican, Nicaragua.
We went for our anniversary trip 2 years ago, and it was
the energy
incredible.
There is great.
Everything was.
What's your dream brand to work with?
Dream brand to work with? I mean, I've kind of worked with a lot of my Nike. I've worked with them. I've worked with Jordan brand. Maybe that's a good question. That's
manifesting.
That's a very good question. I don't know what my dream brand to work with, because I've worked with some great brands, not a direct, for example, this art. I manage an artist, a visual artist named Landon Kyrie, and Nike commissioned him to create an art piece and put it in the Nike house during All-Star Weekend. Wow. So
that's
we
cool.
work with Nike. Yeah. So it's
and then the shoes also, no, the UM.
Which ones?
Wait, the Soulfly.
Oh yeah, I did like the pillows for that in Jordan brand. I did a lot of stuff. So I mean, if I think about it, let me think. Let me think about this dream brand to work with. I got two. I'll go Nuna. Nuna's like a baby brand.
Yeah.
So I'm good friends with the CEO of that brand. I've been trying to like slowly but surely pitch them on like doing the collaborations because I have a brand.
So babies can start manifesting
exactly.
in the stroller.
No, so that's like that, and then maybe like BMW or something like that, like doing something cool with.
Because your car is BMW.
Exactly. I like BMW.
He's clearly a fan.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your vision for Active Dreamers 20 years from now?
So Active Dreamers is a brand inspiring the youth to dream bigger. It started as like home decor, and I had blankets where, NBA players' faces on the pillow. Then the NBA player's body was on the blanket, so when the kid went to sleep, he looked like his favorite NBA player.
So he can dream.
He can dream bigger. It was great, but like in business, you got to pay licensing fees. Yeah. You have to pay royalties. If you don't have like a huge budget and a huge like bank, it's tough to continue to do that. So like I did that for 6 years, and then I pivoted to doing merchandise for athletes because I had my manufacturing, a POD manufacturer where I was producing merch for players.
Which, by the way, you are like the most stylish coach.
Thank you.
He shows up to the kids' games looking like it's like Game 7.
Game 7, yeah.
And he's on the floor.
We lose, at least I look good.
Yeah. So, right. I mean, it's very in line with who you are. You like the style and the dreaming and the belief system. So I love that you were able to create something so authentic to you.
Right.
I have spoken in past episodes, like we all have a superpower, and superpower is not just, I'm good at basketball. It's like all the parts of you that are unique, that are really easy for you, and like how to create something that you can like add to the world, how you can share it with the world. So I think you have definitely figured that out. What do you think is your superpower?
Yeah, I mean, look, as far as business, I haven't figured it out. I've pivoted so many times where I thought like, okay, I got the NBA license. I have these blankets and like, this is the greatest idea, but I didn't have distribution. I'm thinking like, I'm partners with these NBA players. They post about it. We're going to go crazy. Yeah, you go crazy for 2 weeks, but like, how about we get in Walmart? I didn't understand because I was a basketball player.
Yeah.
So I jumped into business where it's like using my basketball knowledge and my basketball connections. Yeah. But like I didn't understand really infrastructure, and these are all things that I learned. Like, okay, if you got a brand and you're paying a certain amount of money every year for licensing and royalties, you got to have distribution. You got to be at retail. You got to be in a big box store. And I didn't really understand all those things. So when I didn't do that, I pivoted to clothes, which is what I knew. So I was doing stuff for athletes, and that was cool, but it wasn't like life changing. Mm-hmm. And then I started working with kids, and I started doing it. I have a children's sneaker now. Like that's the one that I think is like. It's been doing super well, the children's shoe. It's just like, you never have it figured out, but I believe like, you just can't stop.
Yeah.
It's not about where you start, it's about where you stop.
Yeah.
And I've started, and I'm not stopping until I achieve everything that I thought I would achieve. And it goes back to time. Like I started my business in 2016, it's now 2020, it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
And if you look at the biggest brands, Instagram, Nike, it's taken them 10 plus years to find their niche and really take off. So,
and I think no matter what level you reach, no matter where you get, there's always highs and lows. There's always challenges. There's always like, the big amazing things, but there's always going to be things that you're like having to overcome and figure out. You're never just going to be like smooth sailing.
Never.
So that's all it is like you're, going through your path, hopefully always going up little by little.
Right.
But
that's the key.
But you learn, you overcome the challenges, and you enjoy the wins, and like that's the goal, I think.
Like you said earlier, is celebrating the small wins.
Yeah.
Like even being able to get an NBA license.
That's cool.
Even being able to design my own jerseys. Yeah. Having my own sneaker. Like I have my own sneaker. Like you
created something.
Yeah, that's like, a small win, but that's a big win. Yeah. And I think a lot of times we think about the outcome of what we created instead of being thankful for what we created.
Yeah.
I think we can reverse engineer that thought process. We could do bigger things.
If a kid watching this interview wants to become great, not just in basketball, but in life, what would be your message to them?
My message to any kid that wants to be great, not just in basketball, you have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you are special. If you think about being born, there's so many other things that could have happened where you weren't picked to be born. You were born, and you're here for a reason, and it starts with your belief system. Believe that you are great, believe that you can achieve, Believe that you can manifest whatever, and don't sweat the small things. In life, so many small things will happen to you, but if you don't sweat the small things, you allow the big things to come to you.
Did you enjoy your first podcast episode? I think you did great, Jack. You did amazing. Thank you so much.
Shout out to the Inside Out podcast with Mirna. Much appreciated. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Jack. You were amazing.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. It's a wrap. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If something in today's episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone who needs it too. I'll see you next time. Until then, keep choosing to live from the inside out.